Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Happy Monday, people. Naz. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope you guys are doing good today. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you rested. Oh, this man put on this TV by disturbing people. Hope you guys are doing good today. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you rested. Come to this guy, boy.
I don't know what's going on there. What?
Man, come and put on TV and just distracted people. Yeah, I don't understand this guy. Good morning to Shante. How you doing? Valerie, good morning. Christelle, how you doing? Hope you're well. Jenalyn, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. J. Douglas, good morning. How you doing? Karen Bailey, good morning. Precious Jewel, I see you with us. Good morning. Abigail is here. Terrence, my brother, good morning. Blessed uprising to you. And Marianne, good morning as well. Come on in, guys. Hit that share button. And let's get the show on the road for today. It's another ladies' room. Thank you so much to Nirvana, Beacon Insurance, and Western Union, of course, for making it happen. Once again, Mr. Riggy, sir.
Good morning, good morning. What's going on in the room today?
How are you today, Senior?
I'm okay, you know. A new week, new blessings, new opportunities, you know. So we getting it started.
Yeah, the boy in Yata's voice. New
Well-
week, a new blessing. let's get it, you know.
Don't start our war this morning.
Hey, the boss in Yata's voice.
Don't start the war this morning. All right.
Week. Anyway, how's your weekend?
It was great. You know, it wasn't as good as other people, but it was great.
Okay. And by other people, I will assume that once again you're firing shots in my direction. Okay. Wait, man. You go deflect.
You deflect.
Sit tight. It will deflect. Sit
I'm
tight.
afraid,
Sit
you
tight.
know.
Sit tight. Huh?
I'm not afraid. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. You know.
Right. I'm sure. Rita, how you doing? Iman, Lisa. Guys, you know, man, you're not gonna ask me how was my weekend, but it's okay. I love to talk, so I'll just say, you know, my weekend was draining. It was draining. Remember that conversation we were just having? You know, as a personality, as somebody in the entertainment industry, you know, you try to keep up to date with what's happening, you know, what's going on around you. Not only so that you could, you know, give updates when you're presenting, but also so that you could, you know, have some context, just so that you could stay relevant and all of that, you know. But like, I don't know, man. The social media has just become draining. Draining, bro. And I started talking about this like after 10, and I didn't even get into like the majority of it, you know. But I mean, you have to be so careful now, you know, when you're going through, because of course the algorithm feeds you, you know, what you look at and stuff like that. But like, if you're not careful, you could become so sucked into so many things, so many, you know, conceptions, so many theories, so many
Go down the rabbit hole. You can just scroll. Everything you touch, everything you like, it just feeds you more of that. And if you're having a bad day, going through a breakup or something, don't go on social media, don't go on TikTok. Every post relates to you all of a sudden.
Break my heart. Say you love me again. Listen,
The boss started singing. Wow.
it giving you Tony Braxton acoustic, Tony Braxton bouillon, Tony Braxton reggae, giving you, yo, like, what the hell, bro? I'm not gonna lie, it's it's not good. It's not good, you know. And I'm just so concerned because, I mean, we big man now, you know, but what about the youths though? Who are just aimlessly scrolling and just taking in all this information and data. You know, what about these guys?
I'll tell you the truth. If I had this when I was a child, my brain would be fried by this time because it's just the over saturation of information. And you know, I think honestly our nervous systems are overwhelmed by the constant stimulation from social media.
Right.
Like you could see anything in any part of the world, all these amazing things you might never come across in your life. You're seeing it in 10 seconds. So like you're seeing all these experiences. If there was no technology, you'd probably see something amazing once or twice. But
for sure.
You could see it anytime.
I mean, I know school is in session now, but like parents, how do you so I'll address the parents. Like, how do you get your kids now to strike a balance between all this tons of data on social media and still reading a book and doing their schoolwork? How do you even get them to read a book? Because like now you can, you know, like yesterday I looked at World War One in 5 minutes. I looked at World War Two in 5 minutes. Then I looked at the rise of the US in 5 minutes. I looked at something else, the Great Depression in 5 minutes. Like the show is called in 5 minutes. You know, like how you getting me now to go to the bookstore and now buy a big book and sit down and read that, when I could just sit down and watch a video and get it in 5 minutes, and then maybe just type a couple words in ChatGPT and say, hey, make this into essay format.
I feel like the only hard copy books children have these days are textbooks, which they're forced to buy. For school, nowadays they have access to everything on their phones. So I don't think they're even going into bookstores and buying. I think adults and the older generation are the ones patronizing the bookstores for novels and things to pique their own interests rather than things they have to study for school. I honestly don't know how to get a child to read a book rather than watch a screen. All the children in our household, we have to carefully regulate how much they watch. If you leave them there, just where you leave them there in front of TV, you go in and do what you have to do, your work, whatever.
You come back and they're right there.
And they're right there, same place. So I don't know, honestly.
I mean, what about the parents now who are actually giving the kids a tablet at just a couple months old or 1 year old? You know, or the kids who is allowing their 3-year-old and 4-year-old now to go into pre-primary school owning a cell phone. Like literally that is the child's cell phone.
Yeah, it's amazing. My sister, her kid has this cell phone. I was like so amazed. I was like, you just get into primary school and you have a cell phone. I was like, why?
What?
It was amazing to me. I was appalled. I didn't understand why. But they would say it lets them keep connected to the child at all times. But I mean, it also allows the child to do a lot of the things. I mean, there are regulatory software and locking stuff off and all these kind of precautions you can take.
But they also hacks for everything now.
Of course.
Like literally, you know, I mean, in our days, I mean, the worst two I remember we used to do is like, you know, you would try to torrent something, you know, maybe off a Pirate Bay or BitTorrent or one of those torrent sites or whatever. But that was like the biggest crime on a screen we could have put on back then. Now it's like, what, you stop me from watching my show or whatever. Okay, I just go online or whatever, AI or whatever, and they show me how to crack that.
Of course. Do you know, like, you could find full shows and things just scrolling on social media and stuff? Full movies.
Bro, I watch a whole movie on TikTok. I think that was the Friday night or something. A whole hour and something. You know?
So it's not as simple as monitoring the browsing history or anything like that anymore. Nowadays, they have social media apps where once you're inside, you have access to anything. Anything.
Oh, ja. Let's see what we got here. We have Terrence said we have lack of communication skills because we have everything on the net, so they can't talk through a problem. They fight or use weapons. Sad, very sad. This takes me back to last week, and I'm not gonna. I mean, y'all know everything is a joke for me, but I'm not gonna use it as an opportunity to laugh at that situation. But there is a point. So last week, all of us scrolled through social media, and we saw the video of the young lady at the funeral. There was a young lady at the funeral. She was giving a speech. I don't know if it's could be eulogy, could be just a family or whatever. She was giving a speech. That's the point. She was giving a speech, and I mean, she reached a word, and she was like, she was stuck. I think the word was compassionate or compassionately or something like that. This young lady was so stuck. Like, she was like, and she just stuck right there. And then she asking the person in the back, I don't know, some PA, something. And she's saying it to the microphone, so we all heard it. She's asking the person next to, like I said, we're not gonna use the program to, laugh at that. But the point is that now, where social media and apps correct words for you, right? The autocorrect now is even more so, like if you put duck, it might put, that's how the autocorrect operates.
Listen, that can get in trouble. This thing correcting the word before you see it correctly.
Exactly.
By the time you send the message.
So with social media now trying to correct everything that you're typing, and feels like it knows even better than you. It knows what you want to say better than you. How do you get your children to read and write and spell and to know words and stuff like that? Because books have slowly, been on a decline. It's not about the screens and all of that, but the screen does everything for you. I remember, when we had to research and stuff, it was all about the encyclopedia and the books, and I think our era was, probably the last of that. We would actually sit down and write the 5-page essay front and back.
Pain.
You understand? We would sit down and write it. There wasn't any putting it in something and telling it, turn it into an essay. It didn't have that. So my question is, like, how do we get these young people now into knowing words, reading, writing, all of that? Because since the screen just makes it so easy.
To me, that happened in the classroom, where you have the ability to say no phone, no tablet for the duration of what we're doing here, and get them to think on their feet within that space where you have them, where you have their attention. Because once they're outside, it's right back to the screen as soon as they step outside. So I think it's really making the most of that face-to-face interaction where you're trying to teach children stuff. That's where they could learn the skills, learn the speech, learn how to read and write properly, And I think we're making light of it, but it's actually a huge problem.
Yeah. And then, of course, we always have the kids in the back of the class, as we call them. Always have the ones in the back of the class, boy. Oh, Jesus, Lord. Linda says, my son still order books from Barnes and Noble Bookstore. He loves to read. That's good. She says that if you buy books for them, they will read. Someone says these things come from compassionate parents. Children still mimic us in many ways. If the parents show interest in different things, that should show interest to the kids. Again, we have to regulate and force things with our kids and create boundaries and disciplines. Yes, Rachel, we used to write until the fingers get numb. Listen, like you had to take a break and come back to that essay. But it's due in the morning, so the break can't be too long, but one way or the other, coming back with that essay. And, there was some teachers, professors, who you just know that if the essay wasn't a certain length, you ain't passing. You remember them teachers there? Bro, you want to come with your page and a half essay. Where you go with that? That ain't okay with some teachers.
Nah.
I saw it was back then. You had to come 3-4 page and up, bro. Like you had to.
Well, they have an idea of what they want in their answer, if it's going to take 3 pages, it's going to take 3 pages to explain what they're talking about. But I have to wonder what happens when these children do their exams and their essay type questions. Because I can't imagine you're using all these tools to aid you to write essays throughout school, and then when you sit down, CSEC English or something, you have to write an essay in an hour or less based on the time. So what happens then? Because they won't have the ability to do the essay, especially under the pressure.
Under the pressure of the time. Yep. Whew. Teachers, I don't want to be you guys. I don't envy you guys right now at all. Someone says I went into a legal firm with a young secretary. My name was in front of her in bold capital letters, and she was still butchering my surname. Oh wow, that is sad. That is a little sad. Parents today rather put a tablet in their kids' hand than to sit down and read a book with them. Yeah, because guess what? The parents on a screen too. And that listen, oh my gosh, like you said, we just casually having the discussion, but this is a real serious problem.
I feel like sometimes as parents, I ain't talking from experience obviously, but maybe they can be a little bit lazy sometimes, or maybe they just feel like they need breaks sometimes, so they would just give the child the screen and they could go about their business. But if you do that too often, it becomes an addiction and it becomes a bigger problem. So you have to spend some time making sure they have the basic things. If you realize your child not reading and understanding at a certain level when they come home, you need to put some effort at home as well. You understand? To supplement, because something is going wrong. Yeah.
But it's just so funny that back in our days when you came home from school, right? And I know a lot of people can relate to this. Mommy, either she shelling the pea, she cooking, she cleaning the house, doing something around the house. A lot of gardening used to happen back then, stuff like that. So it's like they would call you while they're doing what they're doing, and give you the instructions. Where's your homework? What you have for homework today? All right. If you're not homework, come. The tables in the back of the exercise book. Put down the exercise book and come and recite your tables. Things like that is, or come practice some long division or something, or like back then too, it was like, bring your bag for me. And you have to just pick up the bag, because if you're taking too long, they know that's something wrong. So you just have to pick up the bag, bring your bag for me. And they go in through the books, right? Even if they didn't go to secondary school or whatever, they go in through the books. They see something in the book that you should know. They go ask you about it.
Yeah.
And just like that, boom, you have homework. Or just like that, you're forced to read, write, learn something. And they put in your sit down right next to where they doing whatever they have to do to ensure that you got the work done. And like I said, these weren't all people with university degrees and whatever. But it's just the way that things was back then. Now we have TV, you have tablet, you have phone, you have all these different apps and stuff like that. The Pinterest, the TikTok, the X, Facebook, all of that. Now a parent comes home and is like, you have homework? And you say no, okay. And instead of the parent double checks or whatever, they gone on a device as well. So you on a device down in the back in your room, your parents on a device outside, right? Nowadays, you not only have the tablet and the phone, but you also have a whole TV in your room with access to everything. So you coming from school and you don't even need to see mommy or daddy until in the morning again, because you have everything in your room.
You gotta come outside at all. And every device is everything nowadays, bro. Like a TV is not just a TV. You're going online, you're doing anything on the TV. The TV is like a big phone too. You could cast your phone screen on the TV.
On the yep. Use it as a remote.
Yeah, use it as a remote.
Do
anything.
Yeah. Boy, really, as a entertainer, as somebody who actually got the right coaching, got the right teaching, stuff like that. What advice would you give?
I mean, it's a different landscape, but as I would have said before, you have to emphasize really that face-to-face connection with a student or a child, because having mentors, having people who actually invested in your development, no kind of technology could really replace that. You understand?
Right.
When you respect somebody and you see a bit of yourself in the future in that person, that's when you open the most to advice, you open the most to teaching. You understand? So these sort of things are irreplaceable, for sure. Like nothing, just because you have the information, the access to the information, it doesn't mean that you'll receive it. Where the information comes from and how it's presented to you, how it reaches you, matters a lot. All schools have access to the same information. Schools have different standards. Why? That's the questions we have to ask.
Definitely. Someone says, again, as parents, we should continue preaching and practicing at homes, constantly showing them, even with texts, even forcing them to spell words and not using the textbooks or shortcuts. Make them learn words. Use tools to break down words into syllables and pronounce words correctly. Yeah, that's the part where that scares me the most. The fact that our young people do not know how to spell words, Last week, my son's punishment was to write 100 lines. I must be kind to others and I loved it. One kid was unkind, and it was Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for all. Wow.
Wow, badness.
It's good to know that's still reading. Write your 100 lines before you go home. It's kind of comforting to know that's still reading. Sometimes not books alone. By putting kids in different activities also helps the brain function. They learn from the others in authority. At least a few hours without screen time. Yeah. Bro, back then, like, it was scouts, drum corps, young
drum
leaders, junior achievers,
You got an abundance of things.
debating.
Yeah. They
You're
have
still playing a
abundance of
sport. You're still, you know. And back then we just wanted to be in everything, you know.
Honestly, keeping them occupied is honestly a good way also, you know, because if you're doing all that in school, when you come home, right, I talking from personal experience, I did a lot of extracurriculars in school. When I come home, I go and sleep. If I have school work to do, I do that, I go and sleep, because if you are athlete, if you're doing debating, whatever, you're day in the school from like 5:30 till about 4 o'clock, non-stop. Hardly a break. When you get home, you're too tired to really like do the wrong thing. You understand? Because you're applying yourself. Make sure the children applying themselves
Yeah.
towards what they want to achieve.
Lisa brings up an interesting point. She says back then grandparents were at home. Now all man jack are working 2 to 3 jobs. Children have almost no supervision. Okay. So I guess times have changed too in terms of responsibilities, economic, you know, situations and stuff like that. So that definitely could be a factor as well. You know? Yeah. Back then it was easier to make it.
It was, you know.
Back then it was easier to make it. Yeah, boy. I remember a time when bus was 50 cents, eh?
Things was less expensive, of course.
Yeah.
So obviously, nowadays,
You have a $5 back then, boy. You're buying break, lunch, dinner, everything with a $5. You know,
it's different
it's
now,
like,
for sure.
Yeah. I am a homeless guy asked me for some money the other day. He told me that he wanted to buy a burger because I was at the burger joint and I give the man $5. Man, tell my dad enough.
Just so that enough.
The boss tell my dad enough.
Or you can get a boss
Boss
$5.
is a burger I want to buy, dad enough.
Disrespectful,
I
bro.
say, what? Okay.
You buy it still?
Me, I share my go.
I go to ask you how it tastes.
Nah, man, I shame by I go by the boss tell my dad enough. It's a
Dad
burger
enough.
I want to buy. I say, what? I captain.
Listen, a man take your time and make your burger. It's worth more than $5, bro.
No, I'm talking about the homeless guy. I give the homeless guy the $5.
Hold on, I'm confused. I'm confused now.
I met a homeless guy.
Hold on.
I don't want to, use the word that we call them
Hold on.
in
Okay,
society.
so,
But I met a homeless
you
guy
tell you want money to buy a burger.
because I was at the burger joint.
Oh, okay.
And I gave the guy $5 and he tell me that enough is a burger I want to buy. Yeah, son. So, back then these guys and them get $1 and it's like Christmas come early, but I give the man $5, buy. The man said I don't know buy.
Nah, them men on badness
Man
these days.
said I don't know
I-
buy. Yeah. Someone says we as parents have to take responsibility for some of the issues at hand. Again, boundaries and consistency with parents to help our kids. As example, my son is in his early 20s and I still make time to speak with him and check in. Always to take him driving and let's speak. We still use proper words, not slangs or lingo, to communicate. Yeah, that's the next thing as well. Being available to your children.
Yeah.
So that they can share with you and so on. Listen, this I feel like this topic needs a whole panel. It needs a whole a seminar, a week, a week of just deliberating, discussing, planning, so that we could really take back the education of the youths from social media.
It needs a whole plan.
But trust me.
Trust me.
So, Minister, Prime Minister, teachers, principals, neighbors, friends, family, busmen who see them in town, everybody needs to play a part. Everybody needs to play a part. Back then, like, your neighbor could have correct you. Remember that? Like, Mr. So-and-so could have tell you pull up your pants.
Yeah.
Ways, boy, you can't do that no, boy. Boy, you can't do that no, boy. Man and them will beat you up.
That sense of community where children is weak.
Yeah,
Can't do that again.
Can't do that no.
Nobody wants you.
And the parents will say it, who is you? Because you have a lot of young parents here. Who is you to tell my child to pull up his pants?
That is fake.
Who is you? You knows me, oh. Understand? Boy.
But how we reach there though? How we reach there from the pants, you understand? It has just escalated so fast.
I mean, we just get to the badness real quick. But like I said, guys, I mean, we all need to do our part, especially where these tech giants, they are not stopping. So if you think it's bad, no. I guarantee you. If I should definitely have a podcast program by the next 10 years. Listen to me on my podcast program in the next 10 years, or right here on Power 95, and you guys will hear it will get worse. Believe it. We know nothing now. These guys ain't stopping. They come in for your jobs. They come in for your homes. They come in for your identities. They come in for everything. The very essence of what it is to be human. These tech giants are coming for it. So, we ain't seen nothing yet. But maybe, just maybe, if we grab it now, we may be able to save ourselves and our young people. What do you say, Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, this is just what we have access to in the public.
Right?
You don't want to think about what they have in the military and these kind of things. So,
Tell you, boy.
trust me, it reached where we think it reached already. You understand?
And we think, oh my God, it's so bad. Like, no, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, boy. Anyway, Nirvana, Beacon Insurance, and Western Union, thank you so much for making the ladies' room possible. We're going to be back again tomorrow with another one. And of course, thank you to everyone for your comments, feedback, and we'll definitely catch you again on another one tomorrow. Let's take care for you today. Yeah?
Have a great start to the week.
Have a great Monday, everybody. Catch you guys again tomorrow.
Ladies Room comes to you compliments of Renwick and Thompson Limited, Beacon Insurance, and Nirvana Health